Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This will be my top 5 Rexy T-Rex pieces, and this is just subjective. Obviously there's a lot to choose from out there, but it's mostly going to be Namu stuff and a little bit of W Dragon and possibly some Reborn, we'll see. But these are my top 5 essential representations of Rexy, the original T-Rex, the female from Jurassic Park from 1993. So I hope you enjoyed this video, folks. Drop a like on it for me, it'll help me out a bunch, get this video out there, and subscribe if you haven't done already. So in at number 5 we have the Alpha T-Rex by Namu from about 3 years ago. Came in 3 different paint variations. I obviously went for the Rexy paint scheme, and I really do like this piece. It was kind of my introduction to this. Not really the introduction, because I had a few Reborn pieces in the past. I still have those in the collection, but Namu and W Dragon, and there's probably some other companies out there that I'm forgetting to mention, but these are the main ones that I have. But Namu and W Dragon really kind of opened my eyes up to what was possible with these collectibles. You know, nice size, 1/35 scale, not too hard to display. They usually come with a nice base that they can stand on. This particular T-Rex we're looking at now at number 5 didn't come with a base, it just stands on its own 2 feet. And that's the reason it's at number 5, because the position of the back leg there you see coming around is her right leg. She stands just fine on display, but she's a bit wobbly, and if anything wobbled the room, or you know, bumped into the table it's on, or knocked against the shelf that it's standing on, it's gonna fall over, and that would just be heartbreaking to get any damage on a piece like this. It's one of the few Namu pieces that have well, the T-Rex Namu pieces actually have like a movable jaw, so you can have the mouth open or closed. And this one I do really like. I had to put it in the top 5 because, like I say, it was my introduction to this new sort of avenue of beautiful dinosaur collectible pieces, mainly based on the look of the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, the whole franchise. I have some Spinosaurus pieces, some Raptors. I've reviewed all of them, so that it's all on the channel. Check out, have a little look on the channel and see what you can find. There's a lot on there. Another reason she's at number 5 would really be the general heft of the piece, like the look of the stomach area. It's fine. I mean, I'm sure it's accurate to whatever scene it was based on, but she just looks a little bit hungry. She there's other pieces in this top 5 you'll see that are just a little bit more. You just see the sense of weight to it, and this one, yeah, it's just a little bit lacking in that kind of general heft, you know. Also the head's quite narrow, I'm noticing, as it turns there on the rotating base. I'm just looking at it thinking, yeah, compared to some of the ones we're going to see, the head is quite narrow on this one, but that could be accurate to maybe one of the animatronics or some of the CGI footage in the movie. I'm not an expert, I'm big fan, but I know there's people out there who know a hell of a lot more about this than me. I enjoy so much looking back on the Stan Winston studio footage of them creating Rexy. Just amazing. So yeah, just the fact that I don't really trust her standing on the shelf. You'd have to use like a base like this that you can get from Reborn. It's like a double pack base. It's the same sculpt but painted differently. This one's meant to look like a green kind of forest, the other one's more kind of like a sandy kind of desert, but with the same tree stump and rocks. But they're handy for a piece like this. Not that this base works very well with this T-Rex, it's doing the job, but again, I would worry about leaving the room and then coming in one day and finding it's fallen over, which would be heartbreaking. But that's real reasons why she's at number 5. Great piece, still recommend it, but there are better pieces out there, to be honest with you. But this is still a fantastic creation from Namu. So, number 5, we have the Alpha Rexy by Namu. At number 4 we have the Namu Tyrannosaurus Rex Alpha 2.0 unactivated resin kit, and you have to glue it together and paint it yourself. And I was inspired by Andy's dinosaur reviews on YouTube. He did a video, probably the first one that went up on YouTube, of this piece, putting it together and showing you how it looks at the end result, which is nice with a kit like this because everyone's is going to look different. Mine, I took inspiration from the W Dragon T-Rex, which may or may not turn up in this top 5, but that is the piece I chose to have on the table that I could use as reference when I was doing my paint job, because I knew I couldn't not on my first attempt at something like this. I wasn't going to hit the Namu Soul of the Dragon kind of level paint job. I had to set me sights a little bit lower, so I went for the W Dragon T-Rex paint job and tried my best, you know, to replicate that. But I love the pose this is in. This is like the maquette pose from the early concept stages when they were showing it to Stan Winston and he was approving this, you know, kind of look for the maquette. And then they moved on to building the huge animatronic, and just amazing work. Absolutely, I've always loved everything to do with Stan Winston and Stan Winston Studios, all the amazing creations. But this is just a beautiful pose. It conveys so much doing so little, and it's just Rexy through and through. And I wish that, or hope in the future, that Namu would do this maquette pose again, but a little bit bigger. This is a bit, I think it's 135 scale, but it comes in a little bit smaller than the other Namu 135 scale pieces, especially the more recent ones. But I'd love to see just already built, painted by them professionally, and released, you know, in this pose. I'd love to see that in the future. I mean, once this is glued together and finalized, you're not ever putting it back in a box again. It's certainly not going to go back in the box it came in, because that's all in separate parts and there's little compartments in the foam. So if you're ever going to get this and decide to sell it, it's going to have to be pickup only, and someone's going to have to sit in the car and hold this in their hands, because those arms would be the first thing to snap off if you ever try to pack this up in a box and it gets a little knock or a wobble, gets kicked across the factory or whatever. So, yeah, and should it even be in the top 5, considering you have to glue it together and, more importantly, paint it yourself to get it to look how you're going to want it to look? That's debatable. Let me know in the comments if it even should be in this top 5 because of what it takes to get it to look done. But I just can't deny I love the pose. I love that maquette look. I love it, the side profile. Every time it turns around there, it just kills me. I love it. So I'm putting it in the top 5. There's definitely other things I could have put in here, but I really thought about it, and there's just no way I couldn't include this unactivated T-Rex Alpha 2.0 by Namu. At number 3, we have the W Dragon Tyrannosaurus Rex, which I think was released about 5 years ago now. Now, this is one of my favourite T-Rex pieces in the collection. It was almost, at one point, it was number 1 when I was in the early ideas in my head of doing this video, but then other things arrived, and, you know, it is my top 5, my choices, but I'm also not trying to lead anyone in a different, you know, a silly direction. Like, I'm not going to pretend that this is better than some of the other stuff that I'm going to show you as we get, you know, to number 1. But there is something very special about this piece, and I still would recommend it to anyone who doesn't have a version or a representation of Rexy, that original T-Rex from the first movie. If you don't want to take up too much space and you don't want to spend too much, I found this on eBay from a guy in the UK for a pretty damn reasonable price. And for what I got, I mean, I've spent way more on a 1/6 scale figure and not loved it as much as I love this piece. This is just such a, I don't know, almost like a lightning in a bottle moment for W Dragon. Not that all their stuff isn't amazing, because I've seen a lot of their stuff and it all looks incredible, but the pose this is in, the intensity in the eyes coming through from this piece, it stands above all my other T-Rexes in that intensity factor. It just has something about it where I just love it. And yeah, even though I've got more impressive stuff when it comes to Rexy now, as far as like a technical level and just fine detail in the sculpt and amazing paintwork, you know, like the eyes aren't painted as well on this as they are on some of my other Namu stuff from more recent releases, but still the intensity of this piece, the look in her eyes, is still one of the most fierce and perfect, just frozen captured moments of a fierce Rexy coming out of the trees, seeing you and about to come after you. It goes really well with the Jada Toys Jeep, the little die-cast Jeep. It almost looks like the scene where Malcolm's in the back and he's telling the guys, hurry up, come on, you can hear and feel the earth tremors, that something big is coming, and he knows what it is. But yeah, I love this piece, and it also looks really good coming out of the broken fence that you get with the Soul of the Dragon T-Rex, which I showed in that review. But this is something I would definitely recommend. The pose is fantastic, the paintwork is fantastic, really nice little base that you get as well. Foot plugs into that, the actual metal rod is coming out of the base itself, so you can stand this Rexy on her own without the base if you want to, and she balances really well, so that's not a worry. Beautiful, perfect, could have been number 1 easily, and I would recommend this piece all day long. Try and track it down. Like I said, I got mine on eBay for a reasonable price. I'm sure you'll find one if you keep looking. Definitely recommend this. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. At number 3, the W Dragon Tyrannosaurus Rex. At number 2, we have the Namu Tyrannosaurus Rex 2.0 Perpetual Curtain T-Rex. Is that what it's called? I think so. But they're everywhere. You'll find these if you go looking now on the internet. They're going to be quite readily available. Comes in 3 different paint variants. This is the Rexy kind of color scheme, which I had to get the Rexy one because it made more sense for this pose, because everyone knows what moment from the first movie this is from, at the end where she defeats the raptors and the banner's falling down, just giving off that big roar. Amazing moment. I remember being about 12 when I first saw this film, and that moment, it was bittersweet because I knew it was the end of the film. I didn't want it to end. You could just tell that they were wrapping things up. It was a good way to show the final dinosaur shot. But this could easily be number 1 because it's so recognizable. It's such an amazing piece by Namu. The detail on this, especially the head sculpt, is just perfect. Just the right amount of kind of shine in certain places for the side of the mouths there, where it's stretching open, nice and shiny there. The tongue, the teeth look amazing. The skin detail, the eyes, it's absolutely incredible. And I am tempted, have never been tempted up until last night. I was watching someone's video on YouTube and I never really paid attention to the other paint variants of this because I knew I wanted this one. But then I do love the buck from Lost World, the male T-Rex with that kind of green and yellow and browns and stuff, and I saw a video of this piece with the buck paint scheme and I thought, oh damn it, I can't get it because I don't have room to display the stuff I have. I honestly don't. I had to put a lot of these things in storage for the last few months because I was just rotating the collection on display. But I'm gonna go back to displaying the dinosaurs for a bit because I just love these pieces so much. But yeah, that buck version, the green one, is stunning, and the red Rex as well is pretty damn badass looking. But you could easily put this at number 1. I mean, even down to the fact that this version, this paint scheme comes with the right kind of base with the bones around it, and the other versions come with slightly different bases, I believe. But absolutely stunning, and I could just look at it turn all day long, especially with a piece in this pose. It works really well on a rotating base. It's just glorious to watch it turn. And I'll get you some close-up footage as well. I believe I've got some outdoor footage of all these pieces as well that I can splice in during the video just to show you different lighting situations. But yeah, absolutely, definitely recommend this one. Quite easy to get at the moment. They're out there, it's not too long since this actually released, so if you are tempted, it's a beautiful piece. It's not going to take up too much space as well because the tail's turning round, so you don't have to worry about too much shelf space. And what a presence. I mean, even if you're not a collector and you just got an office, or just plonk this on the desk, boom, you're good. Definitely an awesome, amazing piece. At number 2, all right, so let's get to number 1. You knew it. At number 1, the Soul of the Dragon Tyrannosaurus by Namu. Absolutely stunning piece. Definitely the most accurate Rexy T-Rex I have in the collection now. I love the pose. You also get the fence diorama as she's breaking through in that iconic scene in the first film when she first gets free. And just an absolutely incredible piece. I can't believe how good this is. They're all amazing. They really are. But this is just a little bit more. It's like the resin detail, it's so fine, especially, I mean, all over, but the neck and head area, just all the little scales and just a paint detail everywhere. It's just absolutely ferociously awesome, and I just can't believe how few of these exist. 600, that's nuts. I don't know if they'll ever re-release it or what their plans are, but it's just an incredibly low number for something as popular as Rexy from Jurassic Park. I mean, this rivals anything out there. Prime One, all the other companies, all those the big dogs. This one stands right up there with them, or even above them. Absolutely incredible. There's not too many videos of it on YouTube. I have reviewed it on YouTube. Andy's toy reviews, or Andy's dinosaur reviews. Sorry, he's reviewed it. check out that video, and there's a couple more of them out there. Really good stuff. But I had to get this. I kind of put it off. I wrote it off really in my head because I thought 600 pieces, I'm not going to get one of those. It's going to be too expensive, and it's probably just not going to happen. I'd be happy with what I have. And then just recently, randomly one night, I just thought, let's have a look on eBay and see what's going on with Namu. And this came up pretty much straight away. Guy in the UK selling it, just downsizing the collection or whatever, and decided to get rid of this one. And a few other pieces. I've also got the Namu Dragon Soul Spinosaurus coming very soon. So yeah, really very lucky to have got this. Surprised it didn't fly out of his possession sooner, as soon as he put it on eBay, because they're so rare, you know, and they're so good, and it was a really good price. So I am very, very happy it's here. The pose is fantastic. It reminds me obviously of the moment where she's coming through the fence, but also a little bit of, because of the shape of her head from the front, a little bit more accurate on this one. Like when Alan Grant gets out and he tries to help the kids by waving the flare when it first, not when it roars at him, but just that little, there's a moment there where it really reminds me of this. And just loads of moments in that scene. So the sense of weight, look at the tail, you know, obviously at the end of the tail is quite thin, but as it gets closer to the legs, that sense of just meat and weight, and especially her stomach and the ribs and the neck, the shape of the head from the front here, the legs, the detail on the feet, just absolutely flawless work. Can't recommend this enough, although I feel bad doing that because it's so limited and going to be quite hard for you to get. But if you really, really want one, you'll be able to do it eventually. Just, you know, they're going to pop up hopefully on eBay every now and then. I got really lucky with this, and that's why I had to get the Spinosaurus as well. I cannot afford it, but come on, I mean, the Spinosaurus is even more limited than this one. That's in, like, they only made like 400 and something of that one. So when I saw the same guy who was selling this selling that one, you know, had to do it. He also has the Giga, no, what do you call it? The Giga, I called it in the message back to him, the Giga thingy, what's it? But the one from the one from Dominion, he has that one. It looks really, really nice. But then I realised there's a Dragon Soul version of that as well, which is even better. So we'll see. Not that I'm a massive fan of the Giggy thing of what's it, but yeah, Gigananosaurus. Another moment this piece captures so well, pose-wise, is the moment when Rexy starts walking towards the car with the kids in it. When she first turns on that torch, like right there, looks just like it. But I can't fault it, so this is why it's number one. I wonder if anything's going to come along in the collection that will ever top this. I doubt it. Surely not. What could be better than this? You know. Oh, I will say though, and I mentioned this in the review, obviously, for this piece on the channel. You got to watch out because she's not unstable on the base, but it's a very small base, and the foot plugs in, but it's not like a rock tight plug. When the foot goes in there, there's a bit of a wobble. Like when the foot's all the way plugged in, if you get the tail and give her, she does move even though she's plugged in. So like I'm warned in the review, if you live somewhere where there's going to be earthquakes, or you know, maybe your cat jumps up and gets near your collectibles or something, don't get this piece because you're going to be heartbroken when it falls and breaks. Hope that doesn't happen to anybody, but it's just not the most stable of all the T-Rex collectibles that I've seen. It's you know, it's fine as long as you're not going to have any wobbles, as long as nothing's going to shake and no one's going to bump into anything, it's going to be fine. But definitely not the most stable piece, but like I said, it's fine as long as you're not going to have any wobbly rooms or people bumping into things. It'll be fine. So that's why it's number one, because it's just, you can see it right in front of you. It is an absolutely incredible version of Rexy, the ultimate version of Rexy. That's why we're here. This is the one. I'm sorry it's so limited, and I know a lot of you are going to be frustrated by how hard it is to get this, but if you're going to get one and you want the one, then right now this is the one. It's just a damn shame it's so damn hard to find, but you know, I got lucky with my one. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. It helps me reach more people with this video, and could always do with the help, so just tap the like button, and while you're doing that you might as well tap the subscribe button. And then you'll see all my stuff coming up in the future, and you can dig into my past on here, because like I said, I've got about 18 years worth of content. There's a lot here, depending on all kinds of stuff, whatever you're into. Probably, do you like werewolves? I've got loads of werewolf stuff. Do you like Batman? I've got loads of Batman stuff. Do you like horror? don't even get me started. Alright, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.